Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. Character is like a tree and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. All that I am, or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. Whatever you are, be a good one. Am I not destroying my enemies when I make friends of them? I'm a slow walker, but I never walk back. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I never had a policy. I've just tried to do my very best each and every day. That some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. Everybody likes a compliment. Let not him who is houseless pull down the house of another, but let him work diligently and build one for himself, thus by example assuring that his own shall be safe from violence when built. The way for a young man to rise is to improve himself in every way he can, never suspecting that anybody wishes to hinder him. The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who'll get me a book I ain't read. Important principles may and must be inflexible. If there is anything that a man can do well, I say let him do it. Give him a chance. I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him. When I am getting ready to reason with a man, I spend 1/3 of my time thinking about myself and what I am going to say, and 2/3 about him and what he is going to say. Every man is said to have his peculiar ambition. Whether it be true or not, I can say for one that I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow men by rendering myself worthy of their esteem. I don't know who my grandfather was. I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. You have to do your own growing, no matter how tall your grandfather was. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. All my life I have tried to pluck a thistle and plant a flower wherever the flower would grow in thought and mind. If we could first know where we are and whither we are tending, we could then better judge what to do and how to do it. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. He has a right to criticize who has a heart to help. Tact is the ability to describe others as they see themselves. Surely God would not have created such a being as man with an ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day. No, man was made for immortality. A friend is one who has the same enemies as you have. Public sentiment is everything. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. Let us have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us to the end dare to do our duty as we understand it. I have been driven many times upon my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My own wisdom and that of all about me seemed insufficient for that day. Man is not the only animal who labors, but he is the only one who improves his workmanship. I'm rather inclined to silence, and whether that be wise or not, it is at least more unusual nowadays to find a man who can hold his tongue than to find one who cannot. Leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. In this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and it often comes with bitter agony. Perfect relief is not possible except with time. You cannot now believe that you will ever feel better. But this is not true. You are sure to be happy again. Knowing this, truly believing it, will make you less miserable now. I have had enough experience to make this statement. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Upon the subject of education, not presuming to dictate any plan or system respecting it, I can only say that I view it as the most important subject which we as a people can be engaged in. A new book is like a friend that I have yet to meet. Mr. Clay's education to the end of his life was comparatively limited. I say to the end of his life because I have understood that from time to time he added something to his education during the greater part of his whole life. Mr. Clay's lack of a more perfect early education, however, it may be regretted generally, teaches at least one profitable lesson. It teaches that in this country one can scarcely be so poor, but that if he will, he can acquire sufficient education to get through the world respectably. A capacity and taste for reading gives access to whatever has already been discovered by others. It is the key or one of the keys to the already solved problems, and not only so, it gives a relish and facility for successfully pursuing the yet unsolved ones. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. Women are the only people I am afraid of who I never thought would hurt me. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. Every person's happiness is their own responsibility. You can tell the greatness of someone by what makes them angry. Life is hard, but so very beautiful. If you would win a man to your cause, first convince him that you are his sincere friend. To ease another's heartache is to forget one's own. Nothing will divert me from my purpose. Gentlemen, why do you not laugh? With the fearful strain that is upon me day and night, if I did not laugh, I should die. If any man tells you he loves America yet hates labor, he is a liar. If any man tells you he trusts America yet fears labor, he is a fool. Truth is generally the best vindication against slander. Don't worry when you're not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. I've been driven many times to my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. I believe that people should fight for what they believe and only what they believe. Education does not mean teaching people what they do not know. It means teaching them to behave as they do not behave. Believing everyone is dangerous, but believing nobody is more dangerous. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let him down. Books serve to show a man that those original thoughts of his aren't very new after all. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. There are no bad pictures. That's just how your face looks sometimes. I can see how it might be possible for a man to look down upon the earth and be an atheist, but I cannot conceive how a man could look up into the heavens and say there is no God. Those who look for the bad in people will surely find it. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. When you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on.